Well, welcome back, Spearfishing Down Under. Today, we are back with some girl power. Last episode was with my good friend Nikki, and today I want to continue this series showcasing some of the women I've been spearfishing with. Now, some of the girls I've been diving with are phenomenal divers, and in fact, free diving is probably more natural for the female body. On top of that, most women, if they can be comfortable in the water, just straight away are natural free divers. This episode, I'm diving with Kimi Werner. Now, Kimi has quite a successful social media presence. Kimi has also been featured on National Geographic and the Netflix series Meat Eaters.
Above all, it's relaxation.
So
to do the job, we need to be calm.
If I see a shark, trust me, that's gonna be hard for me to stay calm.
You're good at that, right?
On top of all that, Kimi is a wonderful human being, one of the most incredible people I have ever met. I was able to dive with herself and her husband Justin when I was over with them in Hawaii, but she also came and dove with me. This was a couple of years ago. She was doing a Patagonia tour and she messaged me and said, hey, I'm in town, let's catch up for a dive. Incredibly, all the way to the boat ramp, we're chatting, talking, spearfishing, and she was telling me, listen, I've been a bit unwell, I haven't done a lot of diving. And honestly, when I jumped in the water with this girl, I realized she is actually one of the best spearfishermen I've ever been spearfishing with. We pulled up at the very first spot, and at this spot we're hunting mulloway. The very first dive she did was well over 2 minutes. You maybe watch these videos and not quite sure what that really means. I want to speak to you at home for a second, you watching this video, and see if you can replicate what she does. Now, take a second, we're on pause. I'm about to start the dive, and I want to see if you can hold your breath for as long as she does. Okay, here's a countdown.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We dove together, and we started heading to the bottom. Now, most of you might be starting to burst for air already. We haven't even got to the bottom yet. We settled on the bottom. About 40 seconds has gone by. We're scanning for jewfish. It was really, really fishy, and we just sat and made ourselves comfortable on the bottom. We're about halfway through the dive, and this beautiful eagle ray swam up to both of us. I heard a shot above our heads, and a mackerel flew by. I figured one of the boys had shot just above us. How you going holding your breath? Are you still going? Anyone blacked out in their seat? Hopefully you haven't. No mulloway had come, so I pointed out a really nice Moses perch that had swum up to both of us. Kimi aimed. Shot that Moses perch. Now I'm guessing most of you have already started breathing again. We're not breathing. Kimi's still swimming back to the surface, and as calm as anything, pulls up that fish and dispatches it humanely while she's still swimming to the surface.
This is the one you're telling me about.
Yep, that's called a Moses perch.
That was a cool eagle ray.
Yeah.
I never had one swim up on the bottom like that
Really?
big and that close.
Wow.
That was amazing.
Wow. Now, I'm not sure if any of you actually made your way through that around 2 minutes 25. But if you did, leave a comment. We'd love to encourage you on your freediving ability. When we got to surface, we realized that one of the boys had actually shot a mackerel right above our heads. Andrew fought that fish, pulled it in, and dispatched a really nice Spanish mackerel. After not seeing any mulloway in the area, we decided we'd move just a couple of kilometers to another reef. this area there was no current. We dropped the anchor and all hopped in together. First dive, Kimi and I dove together and we're hanging on the bottom. It looks so fishy. Lots of bait, lots of surgeon fish. And as we hung and just scanned, I knew we were going to see mulloway for sure. We headed back to the surface together, and halfway to the surface, Kimi pointed out a really nice mackerel swimming by.
Mackerel right on you. Andy, mackerel on you.
I hit the surface and yelled out to the boys that there was a mackerel below them, and put my head back in the water and realised that Kimi had already shot the mackerel. Kimi landed that fish and we humanely dispatched it and threw it in the boat. And then we moved a little bit down the reef to where I thought the mulloway might be sitting. Kimi, myself, and Josh Ball, all three of us dove together. You see here in this dive, Kimi is so smooth that she's just drift down in that water. Slow fin kicks. It's why she has such an incredible breath hold and such an incredible diver. As I headed down to the bottom, I noticed that it was so fishy. I was scanning through the bait and I noticed a school of 3 or 4 mulloway just sitting on the other side of the boulders. I quickly turned around and got Kimi's attention, pointed out the mulloway. She so calmly just drifted past me as the mulloway come up. She picked a really nice fish. The whole school scattered and I headed off the side to see if I could get myself one. They're scattering everywhere and a really nice fish shot past really quickly. Absolute fail. All three of us headed to the surface together and Kimi dragged that fish up with her. We were absolutely stoked. This was one of the target fish for the day, and in the first hour, Kimi had shot one.
Good fish. Big school there, eh?
Sorry, I spooked the
Boy, he was on the fly and I'm trying to swing my gun and I missed him by like that far.
When I tried to keep up with you, and when I saw you like react, like I'm too far behind, and I thought I was gonna blow it.
No, let
and then
down.
when you pointed at, oh man, they're probably just swimming away, and then I'm like, oh wait.
It's actually swimming to you.
Yeah, exactly. Wow.
Cool, congrats Kimi.
Thank
Oi,
you so much.
I was behind the whole way, that looks
I hope you
sick.
didn't get my action.
After we landed that fish, we moved along the reef a little bit further and Josh dove on a really fishy area. He came down into a huge school of surgeon fish and up through the middle of the school came a really nice cobia. As Josh drifted towards it, it just drifted away and swam over and sat behind a ray. Josh hung, scanned the bottom and was heading back to the surface, and that cobia came, bringing another one with it, came straight back at him. That cobia absolutely flogged him, and he was trying to bring it up and it was dragging him to the bottom. As he got to the surface, I met him probably 5 meters down and grabbed the gun off him so he could make it back to the surface. Now, can I just take a moment here to talk about the importance of buddy diving? In this situation, Josh has done already a reasonably long dive. He's heading back to the surface and I've got my eye on him. I make sure I meet him down under the surface and pull that gun just to release him to go to the surface. And that sort of thing is really in place just to make sure that the diver who's down is going to be okay. Unfortunately, over the last number of years, a number of spearfishermen here locally have died freediving. This is a dangerous sport, and the only way to make it safer is to be diving together and to keep an eye on your friend.
Andy, could you shoot it? Yeah, I don't think it went all the way through.
Now, when we're trying to land this cobia, the thing was still full of life and going so hard. Andrew Jones swam down, shot it with a second shot, but even that didn't slow that thing down. I tried to knife it, thing was just going crazy. By the time Josh got his hands in the gills of that fish, our gear was an absolute mess. These Cobia are so powerful, they can mess your gear up so bad. After we finally sorted our way through all of that Cobia mess, chucked it in the boat, we moved a little bit further along the reef. Kimi and I breathed up and we dove together again. This time we're a little further off the edge of the reef in a little bit deeper water. As I got down near the bottom, I was just scanning for fish and I could see it was really fishy. And honestly, I just expected to see a jewfish at any moment. I looked around to my right, I see laid up right beside this boulder was a massive school of jewfish. Approaching jewfish from above is always really difficult. And you have to slow yourself down in the water. You have to make yourself not look too big, not move erratically, otherwise you'll spook that school. The jewfish just stayed there laid up beside the boulder. And I picked the biggest fish of the school. I shot it through the head and I hurt the fish pretty bad, but the rest of the school spooked and Kimi tried to follow them, but they spooked off too quickly. We left that fish down for a little bit long and I finally realized, you know what, I probably should land this fish before we keep on talking. I pulled them all the way up, dispatched it, put it in the boat, and we breathed up, ready to dive again together. About halfway to the bottom, a big bull shark swam straight up to me, and I realized at that moment, gee, I probably shouldn't have left that fish down so long. I poked that bull shark away, and he just turned around and come straight back at me. That behavior to me always says, listen, if you shoot another fish, I'm gonna eat it. So we decided, let's pull the pin and let's move to another spot. So right now, we're at lunchtime. The morning has been incredible, but the afternoon is gonna be just amazing. Do not miss the next episode because it's the second half of this day, and listen, there are some amazing fish. As always, we'd love you to like, subscribe, click that bell so you don't miss this next episode that's coming up.